You are listening to Fantha Tracks.
It's time to spin round the rim. This is Desert Planet Discs. Star Wars music in a single file. Here are your hosts, Carl Bayless and Greg Robertson.
Star Wars and a Christmas story. Fill the heart with the Christmas spirit. Fill the pulse like the flying rebel cheering. If I was a rebel, I'd be trading places. Rolling out the big guns like my main man bases. Rebels landing onto war by 10. Rebellions were built on. Hope you have a Rogue One. Little rock and roll fun. Rocket rebel Christmas with our Elvis and friends. Hope you have a Rogue One, little rock and roll fun. Rocket rebel Christmas with our Elvis and friends. Like Annie started off in Jingle all the way. Every breathing Vader doesn't know quite what to say. Turns out this might be a Black Christmas. Death Troopers at the top of your shopping list. Silent night, deadly night, we wait construction of the Death Star and all the run's destruction. Granny, direct to granny, rebellions are built on. Hope you have a Rogue One, little rock and roll fun. Rocket rebel Christmas with our Elvis and friends. Hope you have a Rogue One, little rock and roll fun. Rocket rebel Christmas with our Elvis and friends. Hope you have a Rogue One, little rock and roll fun. Rocket rebel Christmas with our Elvis and friends. Hope you have a Rogue One, little rock and roll fun. Rocket rebel Christmas with our Elvis and friends. Merry Christmas, folks. I'm here to tell y'all that we have to unite for Star Wars against hate. The Imperials are joining rebellion and fighting the Grinches of this world. It's a wonderful life when Twi'leks, Ewoks, Rodians, and Mon Cal and all species get along. Ho, 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 hot dang! So this festive season, reach out and start a rebellion of your own, baby! Rock and rebel Christmas. 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 Rock and rebel
Ho, ho, ho! Hello and welcome to Desert Planet Discs Christmas Special! Yes, we open the show there with Darth Elvis and the Imperials, Rockin' Rebel Christmas. And if you do feel in a charitable mood this festive period, then if you download that, all the proceeds go to the Assert Angelman charity, which is the charity patroned by none other than Rogue One director Gareth Edwards. So head over to your favourite internet music site of choice and look that one up and feel a little bit good about yourself. Get that warm festive glow just for downloading it. And you would also make my co-host very happy at this special time of year. It is, of course, Darth Elvis, also known as the Mysterious Wonder, also known as Greg Robertson. Hi, Greg. How you doing?
Hot dang! I'm very good, sir. How are you?
I'm very good too. Yes, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yes.
Rebels roasting on a new Watts fire. Wombas nipping at your
toes. Yes, we've got the Mudhorn eggnog on the go, obviously because it's much earlier. And the Minot pies. We've been delving into our Life Day cookbooks, as featured in our TFI Life Day episode. Unfortunately, the Minot pie recipe isn't in there. So that was a massive oversight on their part.
I don't know don't know how you have your Minot pies down with you, but we deep fry our Minot pies up in Scotland.
You deep fry everything in Scotland, Greg.
We do, yeah, well.
Mars bars, turkey
Blurgs,
dinners,
deep fried blurgs.
deep fried blurgs. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, well, I know somebody that won't be very happy about that. And fortunately, we have him on the line. How could we possibly do a Christmas show? No, it's not Martin Keeler. We're all still in therapy after last year's Christmas episode. It is, of course, the only person you should really have as a guest on a Christmas episode. It is Star Wars Santa. Hello, Santa.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Oh, and Greg, naughty right away with the deep fried blurgs. No. Oh my goodness, who could deep fry a blurg? I can't even get my vintage collection blurg.
There's more chance of getting a deep fried blurg.
That's probably true. That's probably, and sadly. They did today just release your plushie blurg. Now you can get a plushie blurg from the store, and you can get our favorite Mission Fleet blurg. You get a Mission Fleet blurg, you can get a plushie blurg, but you can't get a vintage collection or Black Series blurg.
Shocking behaviour, isn't it? I mean, you want that in your Razor Crest, don't you?
I do want it in my Razor Crest. All three of them.
I'm gonna say.
I know how the Hasbro can sell more Rancor Black Series by adding vintage collection blurgs into the mix.
That's it.
I was tier 1 unlock, vintage collection blurg. I'm in.
That's it. Santa
5,000, please.
Yeah, Santa will sign up the extra 5,000 times that it needs to fund the Rancor. So there you go, Hasbro. We've sorted your Rancor problem out for you already. We're not even 5 minutes in, and there we go. So, obviously everybody knows who Santa is, but for those who don't know who Star Wars Santa is, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Sure. So I was 10 years old in 1977, and right in George Lucas's target range there. And I fell in love with Star Wars as the first movie I can remember seeing in a theater. And then from there on, just always been a fan. And with the release of the sequel trilogy, kind of reinvigorated my passion for Star Wars and got involved with participating with several different YouTube sites creating Star Wars content, and was encouraged to go ahead and start my own YouTube channel discussing all things Star Wars. So that's what we do. We talk about Star Wars and Star Wars Santa, and we live stream with other folks in the community, and we generally just enjoy making friends and doing what you would do if you were sitting around at dinner talking about Star Wars.
Yeah.
And if you haven't yet seen any of Star Wars Santa's YouTube videos, get over there, like and subscribe. It is jingle bell fun all the way.
Well, thank you.
It's as Roy Wood once said, he wished it was Christmas every day, and with Star Wars Santa, it can be Christmas all year round.
That's right. Oh, sorry. Well, every day we have a countdown to Christmas. You always know how many days it is till Christmas. All you have to do is come by and visit the live stream, and we'll let you know.
There you go.
You've also got a Discord channel. Where would we find you on Discord?
Yes, it's Santa's Covert, like the Mandalorian. They belonged in a covert. It's Santa's Covert, and you'll find it there. And you can find me on Twitter as well, Star Wars Santa there.
We've got a great community going over in the Discord and on Star Wars Santa's YouTube channel. The live chat for the live streams are always entertaining.
Yes, and we've got several folks like Martin and Greg, of course, but Star Wars Meg is always in there stirring things up and causing trouble. So it's always fun. And they try to embarrass me and see how many shades of red they can turn Santa. It's quite regular.
Yeah, sometimes you can just see red and a white beard. You can't see any facial features.
It's true.
Yeah, we were talking offline about our last Christmas episode with Martin Keeler and how we had to edit about 2 hours of potty mouth and potty humor out. Star Wars Meg kind of fills that spot on the live chat, doesn't she?
Oh, all the time. And it happened accidentally the first time. Yeah, Nikki. The first time that it happened, we were on a live stream together, Meg, and she let a word slip. She mispronounced Mount Tantus. And from there on, it's been nothing but downhill.
Oh, I remember that one well. I was crying my eyes out.
Oh, she's always taking a twist on whatever I say and putting it in context that makes me blush. Not unlike Martin Keeler, who is constantly, yeah.
That'll be for the Star Wars Santa After Dark episode.
Yeah.
The full uncut.
Every time I have to appeal to YouTube to remonetize, they always put limited monetization after Meg's been in there causing her shenanigans. And I'm always having to appeal. No, give me my money back.
It's a full-time job doing that.
It is. It really is. But she is awesome. Meg is a great member of the community. She's doing some fantastic Star Wars content, and we've become good friends. She's great.
Yeah. We've reached out to her to appear on one of our shows in the new year. So fingers crossed.
Very good.
Meg on, because I know she does a lot of Star Wars music.
She does, but be prepared with the cutting room floor. Extra bins around to put some of the content in.
Yeah. We've swept up after last Christmas. We're okay.
Desert Planet Discs XXX episode.
Right.
We'll have it after,
Martin Keeler and Star Wars Meg outtakes. That's all you have to do.
That's it. So with presents, obviously this is our first episode since Disney Plus Day, and the presents that we got relating to Star Wars, which I don't know about you, Santa, but it was a bit like thinking you got a vintage collection blurg and opening it and finding you got some more socks.
or a plushie.
Or a plushie blurg.
Yeah. Right, Disney Plus Day, they're promising all this wonderful content, and they give you a sad plushie blurg.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a sad blurg.
It is literally, you got a sad face, isn't it? It looks a bit depressed.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Disney Plus Day for Star Wars fans was, getting socks and underwear. There wasn't a whole lot. I mean, it's new, but still.
Yeah.
We're hoping for a bit more.
Yeah, so we'd already had the Book of Boba Fett trailer drop a few days before that. So the cat was already out of the bag on that, really, which a lot of people, including us, thought was going to drop then.
Dropped the ball a wee bit on the Obi-Wan as well, because that kind of leaked the day before.
Yeah.
And then quickly got pulled down.
Yeah.
What did you guys make of the Obi-Wan teaser? The sort of, I guess it's a sizzle reel kind of.
Yeah. I'll let Santa take this one first.
Well, I likewise, we didn't really get a lot of footage that's been shot, did we? There was a lot of concept art, and that's great, but that would have been fine last year. Which I think many people at the investors meeting actually saw it. So here we get concept art from last year, and all of the filming, the principal shooting, all of that is done for Obi-Wan, and we don't get even set outtakes where they're pranking each other, goofing around. We got nothing. So I suppose it's nice to be reminded it's coming and see concept art, but to be honest, it didn't really excite me.
Yeah. Same here. I think, as you say, because those shows have already started their their principal photography, wrapped principal photography in a lot of cases. Same sort of thing with Andor. At the investors call the year before, or what they actually put out as the Disney Plus results day or whatever it was, the shareholders call, we actually got almost like the trailers we got at Celebration for Rogue One and things like that, where you've got as you say, a bit of filmed action, but a shot from behind the camera with the cameraman in it on a little trolley and stuff. So you're not seeing the finished product, but you're seeing a little bit of, here's Diego Luna running down a street that's half built out of wood and half blue screen because they're going to CGI the rest of it in. Curiously, nothing about Andor on Disney Plus Day, which we know they've been out and about in the UK filming in various locations. Some of them top secret, some of them less so.
Can't say I've been to any of those places.
No.
Can't say you've not been to some of those places.
Can't say I've not been as well, yeah.
Don't forget Santa knows if you're being naughty or nice.
I was being naughty, but I was being nice because I shared some pictures on the Santa show.
He did.
There you go. And yeah, the same with Obi-Wan. Just a little. I get the concept art is all about hooking in those big questions. So you've got the picture of Obi-Wan and Vader. So everybody's been rumoring for months that you were going to get a Vader Obi-Wan rematch, which will actually be a pre-match. But yeah, a rematch from Revenge of the Sith, but pre-match from New Hope. Yeah. So it will be interesting to see, but I think generally people were a little bit underwhelmed by what we got.
Yeah, another thing that I'd kind of hoped for on Disney Plus Day is that they would give us some sort of schedule of what's coming on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Just give me a schedule. It says on December 29th, we're going to get the first episode of Book of Boba Fett. On March whatever, you're going to get your first episode of the next thing. Give us something to at least put some pins in, mileposts to look forward to and to know what's coming. We have these ideas of the shows that are scheduled, but we don't know for sure which just comes first. The good example right now, because of what we learned related to Kenobi, is Bad Batch next or is Kenobi next? Andor is not coming until fourth quarter, fiscal quarter.
Yeah.
So we thought Andor was going to be next, but no, not Andor. What is next? We don't know. And they didn't tell us on Disney Plus Day. We have no idea.
No, and I know it's so easy. I was on our TV channel on Sunday night on Good Morning Tatooine, 9 p.m. on Sundays, 9 p.m. GMT, that is, folks, on Facebook Live and YouTube. We were discussing this on Sunday's episode. Immediate parallel you draw is always with Marvel because it's Disney owned and a similar franchise pool. The trailer they did compared to what we got for Star Wars, yes, they kind of recapped a little bit of what you've had. So you got bits of WandaVision, you got bits of Falcon and Winter Soldier, you got Hawkeye, which has obviously recently started on Disney Plus and will run throughout the festive period, no doubt. I don't know whether that finishes just before Christmas. It's only 5-6 episodes, isn't it? I think.
Yeah,
it's six episodes. We're episode 3 in, so another 3 weeks.
Yeah, so it'll finish just in time for you to not have to worry about setting the video for Christmas, Santa.
Right. I won't have to watch it on the sleigh.
No.
Right? Yeah,
we know Rudolph's Wi-Fi can be a bit temperamental.
Exactly.
But you looked at that. So you got the recap of stuff that was being done. You got some of the stuff that is imminently around the corner, and then even just the title cards of the shows that they were doing. Obviously, you got She-Hulk that looks to have at least got some principal photography or some element of work done on it so far. And then you kind of think, for Star Wars, you could have done. You've had Mandalorian, you've had Bad Batch, Book of Boba Fett is right around the corner. You've had the season 7 of the Clone Wars. Or stick the Lego specials in if you want to, but celebrate the fact that so far on Disney Plus you've had this great content, and these are the things you've got coming. Bad Batch season 2, you've already announced that's happening, even if it's a title card that says Bad Batch season 2.
Right.
Yeah,
well, what's frustrating with that is that the title card did show up in like a flyby. They had all these little title cards rushing by, and Bad Batch Season 2 is a title card that was in there, but not a word, not a mention, not a anything.
Yeah.
Like, and if you didn't stop it and screenshot it, which some people did, you wouldn't even know that it was in there.
Yeah. So yes, again, one of the things I sort of mentioned on Sunday is, although the parallel with Marvel is very easy to draw and everybody does it, including me, they are further down the road with the whole development of themselves as a franchise under Disney. A lot further down the road than Star Wars. And I think for years you had the creative head that was our Lord and Master, Mr. Lucas, and he ran the show. They've come out of that relationship, if you like. So they've had to set themselves up as a company, install all these creative people to try and get content going. They've put out 5 films, put out a batch of TV shows already. There's more in development, but they're kind of falling over their feet a little bit because they're still trying to establish themselves as an organisation without George at the helm.
That's a really good point, and one that I've made many times as well. That when Lucasfilm was turned over to Disney and Kathleen Kennedy was put as the head, the creative mind of Lucasfilm left the company. They did not have a creative control group established. There was not what we think now as the story group, Lucasfilm story group, did not function, and to some degree, I don't know that it yet does, did not function as that creative head to kind of bounce things off of, run things through, because George Lucas was creating that. And what we saw then as a result of the sequels, whatever your position is on them, I personally love them, but many people don't. And people point out the lack of planning or having a really strong story pre-established. There was nothing at Lucasfilm to do that. Like, the person that did that was the director. The director was George Lucas. So, I mean, what do? They seem to have learned. They put Dave Filoni in that creative role now. And what he and Jon Favreau have done has been brilliant. And I think that they're building from those lessons learned. And now that, that engine is starting to move. But it takes a little while to build some momentum, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They should have given Dave a bit more control, I think, earlier on. Obviously, he learned from the master himself. He worked under George, and George passed on so much of his thoughts and feelings about how the Force works and all this stuff down to Dave Filoni. So if they kind of, hopefully, as you say, now they're getting some traction, hopefully Dave Filoni will help right the ship.
Right. Now, I still don't know what's going on in their marketing and PR department. Like, I'm baffled, and that's what really from Disney Plus days my takeaway. Like, what is Lucasfilm marketing and what is Lucasfilm PR? Like, I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah, you kind of. I was just going to say earlier on, I kind of wonder if they're holding back things because they're like thinking, right, we've got Celebration next year. We need to be, dropping trailers and sizzle reels and all this stuff at Celebration. And it's like, but at the moment, we're not hearing anything about Celebration. We don't know, there's not been any guests announced. Usually that happens very late in the day anyway, but ticket sales haven't gone back on for the ones that have been, handed back. It's the big question mark in the air at the moment about, this kind of ties into your point about marketing and PR. It's a mess at the moment.
I don't know. Maybe they're doing everything they want to do perfectly, but I can't tell. I don't know. For me, it seems like a weak spot, to say the least, because coming into Disney Plus Day, we had some expectations. Like, we had some hopes. We had a lot of anticipation. And then you got socks and underwear. Well, great. I mean, it's helpful, but it's not exactly the toys that and the things to play with that we wanted.
I would have been happy with the Star Wars MeUndies, you know? Underoos. That was Underoos. Underoos. It's like, well, there you go. We've had some Underoos.
There you go.
Yeah. It seemed crazy to me that they released the Book of Boba Fett trailer literally 5 or 6 days before Disney Plus Day. If they'd held that back to Disney Plus Day, then the complaints wouldn't have been there wouldn't be so many people up in arms about lack of content. They would have got the teaser, Book of Boba trailer, the Under the Helmet documentary, and Willow, I guess, tying into Lucasfilm as well. They would have got all that, and there probably wouldn't have been so much backlash about it. It just seemed crazy they did that, and then they announced in the investors' call about Andor being Q4 of financial year. It's like, why not just announce all that Disney Plus Day, and then
right?
Yeah.
It's what Carl mentioned a bit ago as well. Like, why couldn't they give us the title cards like up in front, like they did for Marvel, right? They said, look, here's this, and they showed a title card. Look, here's this, and they showed up another title card. All we got is some flybys, no mention.
Yeah.
You had the title cards there, but you say, look, we're excited to say Bad Batch Season 2, boom. Mandalorian Season 3, boom. Like, those things are built. Those title cards exist.
Yeah.
As you're saying, Greg, like I can't understand releasing a Boba Fett trailer if you didn't have a second one. Like, I thought, oh, well, maybe we're getting a second trailer like 5 days from now. That's unexpected. No, we just released it 5 days earlier. And then the Obi-Wan, whatever that you want to call that, leaked out 24 hours early and caused havoc throughout the internet. So you lost all your steam there as well. So you lost Obi-Wan, the momentum from Obi-Wan. You lost the momentum from Book of Boba Fett, and you let your title cards just fly by. So there was nothing other than, again, Greg, you just said it, like, we did have the Under the Helmet.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good documentary on Boba Fett. Nice stuff.
Yeah. A lovely tribute to Jeremy Bulloch in there, and it's nice to see wife Maureen in there as well. Really, we're going to talk about conventions in a minute, but a couple of people really missed on the convention scene. I used to see Jeremy and Maureen at conventions up and down the country in the UK here, and lovely couple. And it's obviously sad that Jeremy passed, but a nice tribute to him in that documentary. I think that was my big takeaway, and just the outpouring of love from everyone in Lucasfilm in that documentary talking about Jeremy was fantastic. So that got my Disney heart to flutter. Disney Plus Day was that documentary kind of made it for me. I like the Obi-Wan teaser. The concept art in there was great, but it was Under the Helmet for me that kind of made that day. And the Willow teaser, because Warwick Davis just comedy genius.
I love Warwick as well. He did a great job. For the Willow thing, we know that there's been some photography done for that as well. I think MakingStarWars.net has shown some of it, but they showed none of it.
No, they didn't show anything. No, it was just him introducing some of the young cast members.
Yeah. And it was funny. It was good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's like, and by the way, here's some stuff, from the actual show, as you were talking about before. Show us a scene behind a camera of them filming something,
Or even production stills.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've just done the round table of who the cast are, which I was at a convention literally the day after, and I was like, yeah, Warwick won.
Yes.
My two big takeaways, three big takeaways from Disney Plus Day was Under the Helmet was brilliant. I was a little bit worried because they'd bigged it up that we were getting this Legacy of Boba Fett documentary, and then it scrolled up and it's like 20 minutes, really? But the way it was done, it seemed much longer, and as Greg's already said, the tribute to Jeremy, the fact that Maureen was involved in it, and there was such a nice chunk in the middle that was all about his contribution to Star Wars and Star Wars fandom, was just beautifully done. Not to take away from any of the other people that have been in the suit, but I think all of us at Fantha Tracks have met or interacted with him in various ways over the years, and he was a lovely, lovely man. Maureen, brilliant by his side at all these things, and he's a sad loss to fandom. The Willow teaser, Warwick knocking it out of the park. Erin Kellyman as well, clearly flavour of the month. It's Disney Plus, because she's obviously was in Falcon and Winter Soldier as well.
Indeed, yeah.
And Solo alumni,
Yeah.
as Warwick humorously pointed out. He hasn't seen that one.
Another big takeaway from Disney Plus Day Under the Helmet was George. George is involved.
Yes.
We got George in, and he mentioned the holiday special. Which
I
got really excited, thinking we might get the holiday special on Disney Plus.
But and again, I was talking about this at the convention. The thing that made me laugh completely about this was he was talking about Boba Fett, and he was like, "Yeah, they were doing a holiday special." No, George, you were doing a holiday special. It's not they. You can't distance yourself from something that you produced.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Like the Ewok adventure. What was that? The
Battle for Endor and
Battle for Endor, right? And Caravan of Courage. Like he's directly on those things. Blurgs. Our first introduction, our first real introduction to live action Blurgs, right there from the very beginning, from the very get go. And now look, you sent me on my soapbox again. I'll step down. There's more Blurgs coming. I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hold it back.
That's it. And of course, the other slight bit of Star Wars we got was in the Simpsons short, the Plusiversary short, which featured several little nods to Star Wars in various points, and is very funny, mainly for the song, which Greg and I were discussing off air a bit earlier. It's just the way they like it, and as long as we've got your credit card details, it'll automatically renew. Just
really good. And you always wondered what would happen if Darth Vader tried to drink something while wearing his mask.
Yeah.
The question's been answered.
Yeah.
Now we know.
For everything in one location, daily news, reviews, interviews, podcasts, video, and social media feeds, bookmark FanthaTracks.com for Star Wars news 24/7, 365.
Speaking of people trying to drink while wearing masks, how did you get on at your convention?
Yes. Well, believe it or not, there was a distinct lack of mask action apart from cosplayers. Yeah, anybody think the pandemic was over as far as safety masks, if you like. But over the last few weeks, we started off at MCM in Birmingham, which has returned apparently with limited numbers, although it was rather busy. Nicely laid out in terms of the amount of space between all the sort of trading stalls. It wasn't quite as compact as normal, and indeed I think they'd limited the number of traders, but we got to catch up with a few of our friends, including RGL Customs, our good friend Reese, who started off as many people in sort of Star Wars fandom, indulging his hobby, making models and dioramas, and got picked up by Lucasfilm and actually ended up contributing to several of the films. I know he definitely worked on Last Jedi, making Sith Trooper armor.
The best Star Wars sequel.
The best Star Wars sequel.
Sequel elder film, yeah.
In fact, no, that was Rise of Skywalker, wasn't it? Sith Troopers. Sorry. There's
Skywalker,
yeah. Troopers. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
The worst sequel.
But yeah,
not because of your hard work, I must say.
Yeah, but so we're nice to catch up with him. Several of our friends from the convention scene, and Mark Newbold was also hosting a talk with Star Wars author Adam Christopher, who has written several stories for the Certain Point of View books, and is also currently in the process of finishing up the hotly anticipated Shadows of the Sith novel, which is a Luke and Lando adventure. Around, I don't know if it's before the sequel trilogy. I presume it must be before the sequel trilogy.
Between Jedi and Force Awakens. That'll be the story about Batu Boy. What's his name?
Yeah, Ochi. Ochi, that's it. Oti's from Strictly Come Dancing.
Follow the Ochiman Trail. It's like a Wizard of Oz, isn't it?
Yeah. Mark hosted a chat with him talking about creative writing for franchises, because he's also done books for several game franchises, Stranger Things, Doctor Who. So that was a really interesting chat that Mark hosted. I did lots of photography of varying quality, which made me put a new camera on my Christmas list, Santa. So if you deem that I've been good enough, then hopefully I might get a new camera.
I think the question Santa is dying to ask, I think, is, was there any cosplayers dressed as blurgs?
There wasn't, which is... Now, was it there? No, it was at Return of the Garrison a couple of years ago. There was, at Leicester Space Centre, there was a young child dressed as Luke on Hoth and had got like a Tauntaun suit.
Right.
So this reference is probably going to be lost on Santa, but UK listeners may be familiar with the work of Bernie Clifton, who used to have a costume whereby his legs were poking out the bottom as the legs of the, I think it was like an ostrich.
An ostrich,
and he was holding some reins, and then the ostrich head and the body, and it got false legs hanging off the side. So that's kind of what this. So the Tauntaun's legs were this kid's legs inside this Tauntaun suit, with Luke's legs hanging over the side. That would be a brilliant Blurg cosplay as well.
It would be. You could be Mando, or you could be. I mean, there's so many choices.
Yeah, Quill. That's it. So
again, there's more chance of seeing that than a vintage collection Blurg.
so there you go. That's Santa's challenge for the cosplay community.
There you go.
Let's see you riding a Blurg cosplays.
Exactly. We need more Blurgs. Now, I did see one that was done quite brilliantly, like the. Have you seen where they have like T-Rexes, where they're completely inside the body, and their legs are tied to the legs. So if you look, you can see the person's legs, but they work the T-Rex's legs or the Velociraptor's legs. Somebody had a Blurg that was that way, and they walked and then stopped and then kind of turned, opened the mouth, shut the mouth. It was real slow, but it was fantastic. We need more. More. Like those blow up the T-Rexes. Yeah. That people wear around, do all kinds of shenanigans and silliness in. We need Blurgs. Basically, a T-Rex with a shorter neck.
Yep. There you go. Again, Santa's laying out the challenge for all the cosplay community there, the manufacturers of those suits. Get your Blurgs. Yes. Get your Star Wars license. Start making your Blurgs.
Exactly.
We want to see a 501st type organisation purely full of Blurgs.
Yes.
Blurg cosplayers.
Yes.
There you go. We'll spend the rest of the night now trying to think of what an amusing name would be for such a cosplay group. What is the collective noun for Blurgs? Did we even know that?
Oh, did they run it like a group of Blurgs? Is that a pack or a pack of
herd? Herd of Blurgs.
A murder of Blurgs.
Murder of Blurgs. An uncomfortable journey of Blurgs. Who knows?
Deep-fried Blurgs.
Yeah. Moving on from MCM in Birmingham, the following week I had the pleasure of descending on Telford again for Wales Comic Con. Telford, as many people may know, isn't in Wales. Wales Comic Con is in Telford. It's all very confusing, but it is a brilliant show. There was loads of Star Wars guests there for those people who are of a autograph hunting, memorabilia signing bent. There was a whole host of Rebel pilots. We had Angus MacInnes, John Morton, Garrick Hagan, Dennis Lawson. Also in attendance was Robert Watts, Caroline Blakiston, Brian Herring, Ian McDermott, although he was actually situated away from the other guests. He was a premium guest. And Mike Quinn of Nine Numb fame. So we got to speak to all of the guests. We got lots of great interview audio from them. Lots of pictures of both those events are now up on fantatracks.com, along with mine and Mark's reviews of the days. So go and check it out. And audio from those interviews will be coming out, I think, mostly on Making Tracks. We may play some in some of the other shows as well. We might even put some on Desert Planet Discs. And really, really nice to be back out at shows. Clearly, the actors were really pleased to be back out meeting fans, talking to them. Some of them obviously are sort of more elderly and aren't working actors anymore, or not as busy as some of the younger actors, and in Brian's case, you know, some more technical type of input to the whole filmmaking and TV making process. So they really thrive on these conventions and meeting fans, and the fans had supported the events brilliantly. They were both really well attended, so it was nice to see people. Some fantastic art on show as well. Just want to give a quick mention to several of the artists we saw. The Topps trading card artist, Jay Manchand, he got some beautiful renditions of images that he's produced for Topps, and also some that he's done as sort of commission work on show. An artist by the name of Dave Kennedy, who got a stunning Millennium Falcon being drawn into the hangar bay on the Death Star, like a big envelope type shaped piece. It was beautiful. And our old chum, retro draftsman Gav, who hot off the heels of his Toy Shop on Tour video series with his chum from Leicester Vintage Toys, Joe. Nice to catch up with Gav again. Obviously, I've spoken to him over the years many times for Making Tracks and our show, so it was nice to see him again and catch up with what he's been up to. Toy Shop on Tour, if you haven't seen that, really good fun. Trawl around the UK. It was originally going to be in the US, but COVID restrictions put pay to that. But they have still got plans to do the US trip. All the flights and everything were booked, and the accommodation was all booked, and they've got insurance, so they're hoping to be able to reschedule that when restrictions allow. So there should hopefully be more series of Toy Shop on Tour coming to YouTube. So
in terms of conventions, Santa, do you get out to many conventions in the States?
You know, I have never made it to a convention of that type. As the kids were growing up, I was the lone Star Wars fan in the house. Both of our daughters enjoyed the movies, watching them with me and all that. But I've truly been able to kind of spread my wings since they moved out. So my hope is that here in coming years, I might be able to make it to one. But Mrs. Claus is resisting. She's not excited to go. So it'll have to be a coincidental thing where we happen to be just by accident in, say, Orlando. I don't know.
Into me.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Oh, look. We just happened to be in California, and
what's that going on down the road? There's a bunch of people there. We should go check it out. Yeah.
I've been booked for a stag do in Anaheim with some guy called Martin Killer and Mark Hamilton and Greg Robertson booked me for this event. It's some stag do or something.
Yeah.
Santa.
Right. It's an appearance. I have to go. They need Santa there, and I've accepted the booking.
Stagabration.
Martin Keeler, if we build it, he will come.
Yeah.
We'll get him a blurg costume.
That's it.
There you have it.
Blurg.
That's it. At Celebration Chicago, we had the Mystery Dancing Porg. We will have to have Santa as the blurg handler for a Mystery Dancing blurg.
That's
where we need to go with it.
you have Martin. No, I was thinking Martin did it, but no, it's we just need a 3D print, right? So we get Mark Hamilton. Doesn't he have a 3D printer? I think Mark Hamilton was playing around with 3D printed figures.
And Martin, and I'll do it very quietly. I've got one for my eldest for Christmas. Shh.
Oh,
Santa already knows that.
Oh, he does.
So you know, a 3D printed, you know, TVC scale blurred might get me, you know.
There we go.
That might be the right kind of incentive.
We know what to drop on the fishing line now.
Right.
Look, Santa.
Challenge Mark and Martin. We've got to 3D print together Blurg costume for Santa.
There we go. But yes, as I mentioned before, one of the guests at Wales Comic Con was Mike Quinn, who we've obviously featured on the show previously for his stunning vocal work on Comfortably Numb with Blues Harvest. And one of the nuggets of information we got from him was that he has another single that is now out, a cover of David Essex's A Winter Tale, obviously for Christmas, in conjunction with a Lancashire-based band by the name of Graflex. And that's a charity single with all the money raised going to St Catherine's Hospice in Lancashire. So again, as we said with the Darth Elvis track, if you find yourself with a few spare pennies and want to help out somebody a little bit less fortunate than yourself at Christmas, then look that one up. It's Graflex, Graflex, on Bandcamp, or if you follow Mike Quinn or find Mike Quinn on Facebook, you'll get all the links to it through his page as well. Download that. We thought we'd play you a little bit of the song. So here is Mike Quinn and Graflex with A Winter's Tale.
The nights are colder now. Maybe I should close the door. And anyway, the snow has covered all your footsteps, and I can follow you no more. The fire still burns at night. My memories are warm and clear. But everybody knows it's hard to be alone at this time of year. It was only a winter's tale, just another winter's tale. And why should the world take notice of one more love that's failed? A love that can never be, though it meant a lot to you and me. On a worldwide scale, we're just another winter's tale. While I stand alone, a bell is ringing far away. I wonder if you hear, I wonder if you're listening. I wonder where you are today. Good luck, I wish you well, for all that wishes may be worth. I hope that love and strength are with you for the length of your time on earth. It was only a winter's tale, just another winter's tale. And why should the world take notice of one more love that's failed? It's a love that can never be, though it meant a lot to you and me. On a worldwide scale, it's just another winter's tale. It was only a winter's tale, just another winter's tale. And why should the world take notice of one more love that's failed? It's a love that can never be, though it meant a lot to you and me. On a worldwide scale, we're just another winter's tale.
And that was the charity single A Winter's Tale by Mike Quinn and Graflex. Go and download it on Bandcamp. And as I said, all the funds go to St. Catherine's Hospice in Lancashire. So dig deep, ladies and gentlemen. Otherwise, you'll be getting coal for Christmas from the big man himself, Star Wars Santa, who's still with us on the show. Speaking of
there you go. The
coal,
sleigh's broken down.
The sleigh's broken down. Yeah. Speaking of coal, we're going to turn to Santa and ask who's on the naughty and nice list for 2021. What's been the best and worst aspects of Star Wars for you in 2021?
Well, I'm going to play this a little bit differently. I've got 3 nominations in each category, and in the first in the naughty category will be my good friend Martin Keeler, the man who is constantly denying my access to blurgs. You know, everybody knows that he's a Hasbro shill, that he's got the inside track, and he's got direct lines to get the blurg made, yet he resists. No, look, Martin is a wonderful person, and that's why he's also on my nice list. Martin has been wonderful. He's a great friend. He's helped a lot with the show. He's helped a lot with the content, and I enjoy every opportunity I get to spend with him, and he enjoys hazing me about the blurg. And to the aforementioned Discord server, if you come there, you will see where he is constantly hazing me on the blurgs there as well. So this is a constant thing. It doesn't only happen when we're live streaming. It happens on a regular basis in Discord. Whenever Martin gets a chance, he posts some sort of I'm not getting my blurg. That's what it essentially boils down to. So Martin Keeler, the first on the naughty and the nice list, could not let that pass. The second would be Hasbro. Come on now, where's my blurg? Come on. Like it's so easy. We mentioned it earlier that blurgs were first established in live action with the Ewok movies. We had 2 movies. We have live action blurgs. Since then, we've had blurgs in practically every other project outside of the saga movies. Blurgs have appeared in the Clone Wars animated series, the Rebels animated series. They've shown up in the Bad Batch animated series. They've shown up in Mandalorian season 1 and 2. So we have blurgs throughout the Star Wars franchise, yet all they give me is a Mission Fleet blurg and a plushie. It is way past time to have a vintage collection blurg, and I think they know it. So give us some blurgs. And then likewise, as I did with Martin, I'll put them on the nice list as well. Some of the figures that Hasbro's released this year have been amazing. I love the new paint color schemes they've been using. I love the photoreal face sculpts. All of that is just really tremendous. Some of the re-releases, even the repaints, for all the grief they get over repaints, some of them were needed, and they're filling a demand in the market, and they're improvements over what we had in the past. So good on you, Hasbro. And so they go on the nice for there. Now that HasLab project, that is a nightmare, and there's no other way to put it. Like, that Rancor is going the wrong way, and it's not gaining momentum. We're at the time we're doing this show under a week left to fund it. They're about halfway to the 9,000, and to get to the tier 3 19,000 backers, they've got less than 5,000. I don't know what happened where they weren't able to come up with a project to fulfill what collectors would want and demand. And it was very loud, very clear on the live streams what collectors wanted, and they're not about to produce those figures, Ula specifically, Ula and the Rancor Keeper, on card backs to hang on pegs. That's just not going to happen. They're not going to release them because they know that they're not going to sell. So you're going to sell them in your HasLab project, but you're not going to get them in retail stores. So they give you card backs that they know will sell, which makes sense. From a financial perspective, it absolutely makes sense. And I don't for an instant think that they won't make those. Right? They're going to make the Luke Skywalker figure in Black Series that was revealed there. They re-release him. It's a again fantastic figure. When you look at the quality of it and the detail, it's fantastic. Of course they're going to release it. So the tiers, the figures they released will sell, but they're not enough to sell the Rancor. And without Ula, without the Rancor Keeper, and with that cardboard diorama, it's not sufficient. So it's kind of sad that they missed the mark there, and I hope that it doesn't affect what we see going forward. So Hasbro, naughty and nice. And then lastly, it'd be Lucasfilm. Come on now. What was Disney Plus Day? What was D23? What was Star Wars Day? Remember all the way back to May the 4th? What did we get on May the 4th? We got nothing. So you know, they Lucasfilm, as I said, their marketing and PR departments baffle me. I don't know what they're doing. I can't figure it out. If it's just letting content creators, YouTube, Twitter, social media fans create the buzz, negative and positive, well, that's happening, but they've left a vacuum from Lucasfilm itself for the fans to fill. And I don't know why they think that is the route to go. Is it purposeful? Are they purposefully leaving a vacuum for social media people to fill? And then you end up with the whole gamut of complaints and nonsense that creates. So Lucasfilm, what are you doing to me? And then again, you got to put them on the nice list, because I really loved the Bad Batch. I thought it was a great series for season 1. You go back and look at season 1 of the Clone Wars, look at season 1 of Rebels, look at season 1 of Bad Batch. For me, Bad Batch is the best of the 3. And I thought they did a great job of it. And of course, we had Mandalorian kind of into the first of the year. And we have so many projects coming up that are exciting. They're really, really exciting. So for Star Wars fans, we're at a time now where we're getting more new content in the form of comics, graphic novels, young adult readers, animated series, live action series than we've ever had. And the quality of all of that is as good as it has ever been, at least in my opinion. We don't have the movies keep getting pushed, but we're also in a pandemic where a lot of movies are getting pushed and a lot of movie projects are getting pushed. So I don't fault them too much for the kind of missteps on the movie side as I do just on the marketing and the public relations that just baffle me. So there you go. Naughty list: Martin Keeler, Hasbro, Lucasfilm. Nice list. Martin Keeler, Hasbro, and Lucasfilm.
Brilliant.
There we go. There we go. And I think this is, apart from the episode he was in, possibly the most mentions that Martin's ever got in an episode.
I was originally planning recording a disclaimer at the start of the show because we failed to mention him in the last episode.
Yeah.
But I think we've made up for it.
More than made up for it.
Yes. We've mentioned him more than ever, yeah.
So,
should we have some music?
I think we should. And next up is, speaking of The Mandalorian, is a song by Jon Pumper from YouTube, which is called Mando Did You Know? And it's one of my personal favourites from this year. So have a listen to Mando Did You Know?
Mando, did you know that the baby boy would one day be on trending? Mando, did you know that the baby boy wouldn't always need defending? Did you know that the baby boy isn't Yoda as a child? 'Cause a lot of us were confused about that for an embarrassingly long while. Mando, did you know that the baby boy is the cutest thing on two legs? Mando, did you know that the baby boy needs to stay away from frog eggs? Did you know that the baby boy makes the perfect cuddly doll? And can you please just let him play with that little silver ball? Mando, did you know? He lifts his hand, he sips his cup, we all can't help but swoon. He's tuckered out, we eat it up like he eats macaroons. Mando, did you know that the baby boy would leave with Luke Skywalker? Mando, did you know that the baby boy is this year's new tree topper? Did you know that the baby boy stole our hearts playing peekaboo? This child that we're in love with is the great Grogu.
Was Mando Did You Know by Jon Pumper, another Christmas beauty for our Christmas special here with Star Wars Santa. We're going to talk a little bit about our Christmas gift wish list. Santa already knows, obviously, what Carl and myself are wanting for Christmas, so we're going to put him to the test. No, well, I'm
yes. Did my letter reach you?
Did you, Mike? Do you, Carl, is there anything Star Warsy on your Christmas wish list?
There are a couple of things that I have put on my sort of Christmas list.
No, I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to channel my inner Santa. I'm going to guess what one of the gifts is on your wish list.
Okay.
I might have taken a sneaky peek at
Felt your presence.
Yeah, I have felt your presence. Is one of them the Art of Mandalorian?
Oh, season 2, yes.
Yes, oh, there we go.
There we go. I'm nothing if not completely transparent.
Oh, I've got the skills. Yeah.
Yes, so that is one of the items on my Star Wars Christmas wish list. Also hoping to get. Of recent years, I have become more of a collector of Star Wars vinyl. Not pop vinyls, but records, which is a bit weird because I don't actually have a record player. But hey, yes, sort of indulging in the resurgence and nostalgia around vinyl. I've started picking up little bits here and there, and certainly the sequel films, there have been a lot of really nice picture discs. So I'm hoping that if Santa believes that I've been a good boy this year, that I might end up with the Rise of Skywalker picture disc set.
Nice. Very nice.
I got some Star Wars vinyl on my Christmas last year. I got a 1977 double LP of the original soundtrack, still sealed, still in plastic.
Ooh.
So I've left it in plastic.
Yeah, that is kind of greyly for me. That's one of those things now that I'm trying. I keep looking at like record fairs, and if I go to record stores, see if they've got any nice, relatively minty but not stupidly overly expensive versions of the original soundtrack. So,
Farthest From might be the place to find it.
It may well be, and that is right around the corner. In actual fact, by the time this episode comes out, it may have just passed.
Yeah.
What a wonderful time it was.
Santa, do you have anything on your Christmas wish list?
There are a number of things that are highly unlikely to ever materialize, but things that nonetheless are on my list. Yes, not to mention just the vintage collection and Black Series blurs, for sure. Those are low-hanging fruit, and I can't for the life of me understand why they don't exist. I would be happy, I would be ecstatic, I would be beside myself if they would just give us a pipeline announcement. Take a picture of a blurg and hold it in front of the camera. Like, that would be enough. I would be thrilled to death. Like, we are going to, at some point, give you a blurg. It's in the pipeline. We will let you know when we're going to make it. But we'll make it.
Pre-order it 6 months before we've even made the mold.
Right. It's easy to think we will live in a world where there's a Mission Fleet blurg, there's a sad, depressed plush blurg, there's even a Hot Toys blurg.
There is
a vintage collection or a Black Series blurg for
You can even get a blurg with those bobbleheads. Like, you can, they're they exist in every line except vintage and Black Series.
I bet there's a Funko Pop one as well.
Oh, yeah, Funko Pop. There's blurg in the Funko Pop. So it's baffling, but that's easy. That's easy. The one that I want is the original trilogy theatrical release, digital copies of those movies to exist where they can be consumed legally.
Amen.
Put them on Disney Plus, put them in some archive. In fact, release them on a collector's version of discs, and I'll buy them. Let me purchase them. I would love to be able to relive the theatrical experience that I had in 1977. Unfortunately, to do that now requires quite a bit of work. They're hard to find. And if you go get them, say, despecialized versions or that online, you have to kind of get torrents to do that, right? It's not just above board, here's my $20, give me the movie. I'll give you plenty of money, give me the movies.
Yeah.
100% agree with that.
Yeah.
And not to take anything away from the work that people have put into those despecialized editions, because some of them, I've seen excerpts from some of them, and they are stunning.
Yeah.
But kind of like the guy who did the redo of the deep fake Luke Skywalker from season 2 of the Mando. If fans can do this sort of thing, and yes, they're investing their own time in it rather than somebody being paid to do it as a job, but a multinational corporation like Disney has surely got the resource. And there's one thing we know Mickey does like, and it's
Credit card numbers.
Credit card numbers. That's right. And they could release it where you've got it's behind a paywall inside of Disney Plus, and I would pay it. You know, like you do for those premiere releases or whatever. Put it as a premiere Disney Plus premiere item that I have to purchase. I'll give you $30 a pop.
Yeah.
I'll give you $90 for the 3 of them.
Yeah, and as you say, a collector's box set of the original theatrical releases would be lovely.
I've got a collector's set of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, right? There's like a dozen different cuts on that collector's edition where you can play it, the TV version they had this year, the TV version they had that year, or the original theatrical, or the director's, or extended. Like, there's so many different ways you can watch Close Encounters in this collector's box. Give me that for each of them, right? New Hope, give me the collector's box for each of them. I'll buy them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
The same. Blade Runner had like the multiple different versions, and that'll be incredible. But whilst we're on the topic, we mentioned the despecialized versions. Can the despecialized versions guys out there do the same they've done with that to the holiday special, so we get a nice 4K quality?
So interesting thing about that is in that Boba Fett Under the Helmet, right? And we do have the digital version of A Faithful Wookiee where Boba Fett makes his appearance during that holiday special. The animated version's been cleaned up and it's been released in higher definition. So they did it to that part.
Yeah, do it to the rest. Come on.
Yeah, do it to the rest. Come on.
We want B. Arthur in 4K, please. Akbina, come on, make it happen.
Stir, swish, swish, stir.
So Greg, your Christmas list.
Yes, it's very similar to, obviously, the Art of Mando Season 2 book would definitely be on there. The Ronin Star Wars book, I've not actually got around to buying that yet. I did get my retro prototype Stormtrooper through. I managed to get one of those, but nice. Sadly, it isn't a purple helmeted version.
Oh.
So I am also on the lookout for a purple helmeted Stormtrooper retro prototype.
Yeah, although having seen, I've seen a couple of the variations of those. It's actually head and torso, isn't it? Because
it's head and torso, yeah.
Yeah, because the mold for those original 77 Stormtroopers, it's all in one, whereas obviously the Vader and the Boba Fett had separate heads. So
yeah.
But okay, I shall also keep an eye out for those at upcoming conventions then.
Thank you very much. So Santa, you're a very, very busy man. You're a very giving man. You give a lot to the people of the world, and for this we are very thankful. So we felt it was the right thing to do to present you with a little gift as a sign of our appreciation for all the work you do, for all the chat, the fun chats we have on YouTube and Discord. We've prepared a little something for you, which we're going to let you listen to now, and you can cry after.
Okay.
Hit play, Carl.
Ho, 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 ho. Hot dang! Talking through the news from a galaxy far away. Toys and book reviews, positivity all the way. Come and join the fun, subscribe and like away. Movie news and show reviews, it's like Christmas every day. Oh, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa Show. Ho, 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 ho. Hot dang, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat tonight on the Star Wars Santa Show. He can feel your presence
join the chat. Loosen up and have some fun with Star Wars Santa.
I see it, Wentz. Good work.
Talking through the news from a galaxy far away. Toys and book reviews, positivity all the way. Come and join the fun, subscribe and like away. Movie news and show reviews, it's like Christmas every day. Oh, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa Show. Ho, 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 ho. Hot dang! Buckle up those blurbs and join the fun.
Target, maximum firepower.
That is absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. we have a new intro song, I believe. That's so much better than the song Martin wrote for me too, by the way. Just so you know.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I can't wait to hear Martin's stuff.
Oh, you can wait. Yeah, it's not good. It's Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
There you go. That's our gift to you, Santa. So
We'll fire that over to you.
yes.
Thank you so much.
Send the next blurg delivery over to you.
Yeah.
That's tremendous. And quite the surprise. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. So, Star Wars 2022. What we're looking forward to next year? It's got a big year for Star Wars.
Ooh, yeah. For me, obviously, the Disney Plus content. Really looking forward to seeing where they go with the Obi-Wan series. Really excited about Andor. As I've said before, Rogue One is possibly one of my favourite films of the whole lot, but certainly outside of the original trilogy is just one of my absolute favourites. And on any given day can be just top overall because it's just great. So I'm really excited for Andor. Bad Batch, obviously. And really just hoping that Celebration goes ahead and that we can get to meet up with friends across the pond, sort of chew the cud about Star Wars. Those are my hopes for 2022, and world peace and everything else that goes with it, and blurgs for Santa.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. For 2022, mine are quite similar. Disney Plus is going to be a tremendous year for Star Wars content. But outside of that, and there's things within those that are certainly worth getting excited about, and I am. But outside of that, to see Celebration come around again, I would, even if I can't attend, which is unlikely, but just to be able to join online, to get to see the Lucasfilm give Star Wars the kind of presence, the platform, the social media impact that we've been waiting for. I'm really, really excited for Celebration 22. I'm really looking forward to that. And then outside of that, coming over to Europe and visiting many of my friends that are over there. So that's just on a personal list. It's not so much Star Wars related, but 2022 looks to be a fantastic year all around.
Yeah, I'll have to echo what you both said there. I think Celebration, kind of hoping that happens and can make it across for the event, mainly to catch up with friends and have a laugh, see somebody dressed as a blurg or two. Show-wise, obviously Disney Plus has got us covered for all the good new shows coming. Excited to hear about Ahsoka starting photography. I'd be excited to hear them announce a film project next year. Ones in the pipeline. Obviously, we've heard about Rogue Squadron getting delayed or maybe cancelled. But it'd be nice to have news, obviously, to take up with TT's movies coming down the line at some point. But to have another Star Wars film project in the works so we get Star Wars on the big screen as well. Loving Disney Plus, but Star Wars belongs on the big screen as well, so I'd love to see a new film in the works. That'll be my hopes for 2022, and obviously catching up with Santa in Europe.
Yeah,
Yes.
Santa hitting Europe. We shall definitely have to try and organise a bit of a get-together.
Santa's European tour. It's coming.
I was going to say, I think we need to get it on film, and it'll be like Star Wars Santa's European vacation. No Clark Griswold, but
That worries me a little bit whenever Martin Keeler's involved.
well, at least you'll get to go and see the Museum live and in person.
In person, that's right.
Yeah.
There we go. So we'll have another piece of music now, Carl. Shall we? Shall we go?
I think we're about there. Yes.
So this is the last piece of music for the show this week. We've had them on a few times. Now I'm going to try and pronounce this. Give me a second. Building up to this. L'Orchestra Cinematique with a Mandalorian themed Christmas version. This is what you'll find on YouTube and I think Bandcamp as well. So go and check it out.
Greetings, this is Julie Dolan, voice of Princess Leia, and you're listening to Desert Planet Discs. It's your only hope.
So that was L'Orchestra Cinematique. Forgive my very bad French pronunciation.
It's better than mine.
Santa will, of course, be brushing up on his French for not only Christmas Day, but his European tour. So, yeah, check them out on Bandcamp, and I think they're on Spotify as well, and YouTube. Go and support them. Good stuff they're doing over there. So, with that, that brings us to the end of the show, and to the end of our last show for 2021. Just remains for us to say a massive thank you to Star Wars Santa for joining us this evening, taking time out of the busiest time of year for him, the run up to Christmas. Thanks again, Santa. How can people stay in touch with you and find out what's going on up there in the North Pole?
Well, an enormous thanks to you as well. I've had a great time this evening. It's been a load of fun, and I look forward to continuing further after this. We build our friendships going forward, and maybe one of these days I'll be able to get to a celebration or a convention, and we'll be able to hang out in person. That would be great. I am daily on the Discord in Santa's Covert. Again, it's based off of the Mandalorian's Covert, right? Covert. So Star Wars Santa's, it's just Santa's Covert. You can find me there. And of course, YouTube, Star Wars Santa, and Twitter as well, at Star Wars Santa. So you find me any of those places, and we look forward to meeting you and spending time just having fun and talking about Star Wars.
Can't recommend Star Wars Santa's YouTube channel enough. It's the content's fantastic. It's always bang up to date with all the latest news, but just joining in the live chat is great fun. There's some proper characters in the group on there pretty much every day commenting. Highly recommend subscribing, liking, and joining in the chat. That leaves us we've got one last question we've got to ask you before we let you go, and it's the most important question that we're going to ask tonight is, what should we be leaving you out? What should we be leaving out for you on Christmas Eve?
Oh, well, I have to answer this for children all the time. Santa, what kind of cookie do you want left out? And I always answer this the same way. If I tell you what I want, then I get like 200 million of those. Oh, you can imagine you get tired of anything after 200 million of them in one night. So what I tell people is leave out what your favorite treat is. And when I get to come to your house, I get to try your favorite treat and enjoy something different from each home.
Oh, well, deep fried blurg it is.
My nut pie is here, so.
We'll leave you a wee dram as well.
There we go.
Customary in Scotland. Santa likes a wee dram.
Yeah, that's okay, because Rudolph's driving.
Yeah.
Or Star Wars Santa, does your sleigh actually get pulled by blurgs?
Well, I've got a certain person in our community who is adept at using the Photoshops.
Okay.
In creating a sleigh pulled by 8 tiny blurgs.
Nice.
And one with a red nose too. So 9. So we're working on that as we speak.
Oh, brilliant. So there you go. Head over to Star Wars Santa, the Discord channel and YouTube channel, and you will hopefully see a wonderful rendition of Santa's sleigh with blurgs.
There you go.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been an absolute pleasure as always.
Absolutely. Our pleasure. Take care. Have a wonderful Christmas. I was going to say don't eat and drink too much, but hey, that's what being Santa's all about.
Well, it is a busy time. You gotta stay alert. So I'll be looking forward to that. And thank you again. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I have made a career out of wearing a mask. I want you to save your life by wearing a mask, and maybe save the lives of others by wearing a mask.
I'm Anthony Daniels, and you are listening to Fantha Tracks. Well done.
And as our last show of 2021 draws to a close, we'd just like to take a little bit of time to say a few thank yous. Firstly, to the Fantha Tracks Jedi Council, Mark, Matt and Brian, for all their hard work on all things Fantha Tracks, and of course the rest of the Fantha Tracks team, who bring you news, reviews, opinions, and everything else all year round.
We'd like to say a special thank you very much to all of our featured artists. Without you, we would literally have no show. Keep doing what you're doing and we'll keep playing it.
To our bonus track guests who take time out of their lives to talk to us and share their thoughts and views on music, life, and of course, all things Star Wars.
And last but by no means least, you, our dear listeners. We love doing this show, and from the feedback we get, you like what we do too.
Yeah, don't forget to send us any suggestions you have for tracks we could play, or even things you'd like us to discuss. Drop us a line at radio@fantatracks.com with Desert Planet Discs in the subject. And with that, we'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year. It's a hot dang from me.
And it's a ho 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 hot dang Merry Christmas from him.
Hot dang. Thanks for listening to Desert Planet Discs. If you want to stay part of the action and up to date on all the latest Star Wars news, check out the Fantatracks app via the App Store on your mobile device.
You can contact us via email at radio@fantatracks.com. Comment, like and share on any of our social media feeds at Fantatracks, and be sure to subscribe, leave a review, preferably a 5-star one, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcatcher or smart speaker of choice.
Don't forget to head to fantatracks.com/radio, home of Fantatracks Radio, and follow us on our social media feeds at Fantatracks, and bookmark fantatracks.com for all the latest in Star Wars news.